Hey, so I'm filming this video right now in the middle of January 25. This video was filmed around daylight savings of 24. Sorry, schoolwork, work, I've said it before. And you'll see in the next video where I talk about how I passed my classes and everything. I did pass my classes. Enjoy this video. This was all I just finished editing this, and it was a really weird like blast from the past type thing. Because I was like, man, I would see a clip. I'm like, man, that was a long time ago. So there's a lot of like all the work you're about to see is really old work. I've done a lot since then to it. And we're waiting on just a couple of things now, and I'll address that in a new video. So stay tuned.
All right, I'm installing the ECU right here. Drilled the first hole. What I did is I just held this up, stuck the drill bit through that hole, drilled that. So I'm gonna put one of these feet in here, and that'll help me locate it, and then I can put the rest of the holes in it. So I'm gonna show you the finished product. Nope, that's not the one. All right, there's your finished product. Okay, we've been doing a little sorting. There's the O2 sensor wire, because it's gonna go, there's the O2 sensor right there, that little shiny bit. So that's the old one. I still have to put the new one in, but I still have to get the old one out. I'm still working on that. I think these are gonna go to this, among maybe some others. These, at least one of these, I think is going to go to the trigger down here, the trigger sensor. So that's why they're over here, not tied up. All this stuff here goes in this area. This has to do with the injector driver, throttle position sensor, the coolant temp sensor, which I've not put in yet, and the intake air temp sensor, and they'll all be right here in this region. This is map sensor stuff. This is sensor ground, which is going to get more than just the map sensor, so I'm going to leave it until I know what all I need to ground. And then this, the VREF wire, has to be hooked to the map sensor and the intake air temp sensor. So I'm going to leave it unpinned until I have the intake air temp and I know how much wire to cut off, because what I can do is I can just cut off the wire right here. It goes into this plug. I already pinned the actual MAF wire into the plug. But I can cut this off, strip both sides, stick them in the pin, and my reference wire is all hooked in to the things it needs to be hooked into. Sensor ground, I'm not gonna get greedy and just stick it in the one sensor, because I only get 2 sensor grounds, and I've got a handful of sensors. So we're gonna leave those until then. This is my F idle wire, my fast idle, that's what that's called. It's like, it's a cold start situation. We're gonna leave this here out of the way. I'm probably gonna wrap it with something for the time being. These 3 I'm still not sure about. This is a VR1, a VR2, and an injector 2. This green wire here is the injector 1. I've got it over here in the injector area. So I'm sorry, I'm doing such a bad job filming. I'm waiting to hear whether I should put both injector wires to the one, because there's only one injector in this. I don't know how that goes. So we're still waiting on an email for that. This bundle is my I'm 99% sure I'm not gonna use it bundle. These 2 wires are the ones that we had run to the key with this plug. So I still have yet to do that. These 3 wires come into the cabin. The red one is 12 volt constant. It'll go straight to the ignition. The purple one with the black stripe is the bootloader. It helps you load your boots in hands-free. That's not true. It when you ground this wire, it allows you to update the software and the programs in the ECU. And then this is the tachometer out. So this is what's gonna feed the actual tach. You know what? I don't have a tach in this truck. I just realized that. My cluster doesn't have a tach. We might tie this up. I don't know. I might put a tach in it. I don't know. We'll leave it out for now. If I don't use it, I'll just tie it up with these. So, no big deal. All right, so since I have misplaced my tripod, I'm having to like do things and then film what I did. So I laid a piece of cardboard on this flange. This is the EGR valve. And I took that hammer and I just bashed it all the way around until it basically just cut this piece of cardboard out for me. And then I laid that piece of cardboard on the end of this piece of metal, which you can see has this angle in it, and it was you know, sticking way out. This line went all the way out, so it was point like right here. Well, I'll show you the piece. That. Ooh, that's warm. That's warm through the glove. Okay, that's warm. So that's, you know, the right size. It's not the right shape. You get the idea. So we're gonna massage it down until it fits on that valve just right. And then if it fits on the valve, it'll fit on the back of the intake manifold. And then we will throw some right stuff on it, throw some bolts in it, and it'll be good. Well, it's not perfect, but for someone who's never done anything like this up until like this project, I'd say it's pretty good, and it's gonna do the job just fine. All right, I measured these two bolt holes, this one and this one. They were exactly 30 millimeter center to center. So I marked pretty much center on this thing. And then those two marks are 30 millimeters across. I'm shaking and I'm not really sure why, but we're just gonna keep going and pretend it's not a bad thing. I forgot to mention, I do center punch my holes. Center punch, hammer, a workbench, and now these are center punched. That one's, it'll be fine. All right, there it is with the holes knocked in it. I'm gonna get it cleaned up and get all the burrs off of it. And oh, it looks like I gotta knock the end of that one out. It went all the way through. It did punch that little cap off the end. Clean it up, deburr it, put some right stuff on it, and go cinch her down. Cinch her down. S-I-N-C-H. Cinch, not singe. All right. I didn't drill my holes exactly 30 millimeters apart. They were off like a mil. So when I went to put it in dry, the bolts wouldn't quite go in. So I just took that drill bit out of the drill press and brought it out here and stuck it in my hand drill and held this with some channel locks and just wallowed the hole out a little bit because I didn't need it too much bigger. I just needed it slightly bigger. So this should go in. I'm gonna test it one more time. If it's good, we'll get the right stuff out, the gasket maker, smear it on here, and send her on home. All right, there it is. I had to wallow those holes out pretty good bit. Took it back to the grinder, ground the burr, focus. Ground the burrs off of the holes. We're fixing to throw some Permatex right stuff on it, and we're gonna snug it down. And let this stuff set up, and then I'll probably put another quarter to half turn on the bolts once it's set up. All right. Oop, sorry. There it is. EGR delete. Home built. Works perfect. I don't know how much I have into it, but it's not anywhere near the $25 plus they want online. That stick of 3/16 cost me like 22 bucks. So 1/3 of 22 would be like $7.30. So 73 cents worth of steel and about let's see, I got 2 Home Depot bolts and 2 Home Depot washers. That's what, 73, 83, 93, 113, about $1.30. And some elbow grease is all I have in that. Today, we've got wiring going on. This is the, I'm not sure I'm gonna use it pile, but it's up here because this is where it would be used if it was used. I'm not 100% sure. I think 2 of these have to do with spark, 2 have to do with trigger, but I don't know which ones. All these go in this general region right here. Everything right there except for the pink wire goes to the map sensor, but it also gets more wires. I'm not going to use that right now. It's a fast idle valve for like starting it in the cold. The pink wire goes all the way over. It's tied up over there for the O2 sensor. Here's my coil packs right here. This is my wires that go to my starter switch to start the thing. This powers the computer. This makes me be able to update the computer. This goes to a tachometer. I'm not going to be using any of these. So I just got to wait for my sensor adapters to come in. I can put 2 sensors in, wire those up, and then I can see which, because I'm going to have to jump some of these sensor grounds together. That's just how the thing wants me to do it. I don't know why, but whatever. And then I got to figure out, like on the throttle position sensor, you know, which one of those does what. This is the driver for the injector. It's just the 2 wires, but I got to figure out, you know, which one's which, what does what. I built an EGR block off plate today. That's the distributor block off. I got my trigger sensor mounted up here. I got my trigger wheel mounted there. I got a bracket made for that. I got this hung up right here. These little doodads are for holding wiring, so I'll end up putting some wiring there to clean it up. I still have to come up with a bracket for this, and I still have to get that O2 sensor out and changed. So I'm actually working on that right now. All right, I wanted everybody to just be in the know. So there's the heat shield right there off the exhaust. I already took it off. I've been shooting these with WD-40 for a couple days. So there's 10 fasteners that hold that shield on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this one and this one are a stud. The stud came out with the nut on that one, focus. So I'm probably just gonna put the nut back on that one. I'm probably just gonna get a bolt to go there. I might just replace all of these. There's only 2 sizes. They're all M6 by 1, but there looks to be, I don't know, a couple. And then maybe a backing nut, because this is just rotted off. It goes behind that tab on the bottom. The one for that bolt is still there. And, I mean, hardware's cheap, so. But I had to do that so I can get a full swing with my handy dandy I can't hear myself talk when traffic comes by, so I'm like, man, they probably can't hear me either. With my handy dandy O2 sensor wrench, and I already got the old O2 sensor out. I wish I'd have got some video of that. Like I said, I lost my freaking tripod. But I use this flat bar. Okay, goodbye, have a good time. And my giant Milwaukee hammer, that big boy. And I bashed like the top half of the old stock O2 sensor off of it. And then I got my 22mm socket and my big ratchet and this cheater pipe and I backed it out, and it took every crank on it was using the cheater pipe. And then I'm getting this one, trying to get, you can see a little washer in there. I'm trying to get that washer to seat. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay, I have determined that I'm going to use this piece of aluminum flat bar between these two doodads right here. I went and cut it to the correct length. I'm about to drill these holes. I just center punched them. If you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. I just center punched them. I'm gonna through drill them. Okay, it's still hot, it's still warm. All right, so this goes right here on the backs of those studs. This will mount, that'll slide right up under that cable. The pack won't touch it. Oh, it's only got, oh, it's gonna only go one way. Maybe that's it. There's only like a couple of ways it can go. I know this goes like this. Okay, now we're getting close. Yeah, something like that. So I'll have to get two little standoffs to hold it. You can see the hole through that hole. Two standoffs. That thick to get between this bracket and that. I'm gonna get some hardware and put that on, but that bracket is built. That is awesome. That is, I love that. So the O2 sensor's in. I might be running that pink wire under the dash, pulling it out through there, running it under the dash, because the only wire that comes out to the engine into the O2 sensor is right there, and it's poked up in that grommet. So all the computer, the O2 sensor comes with its own like computer situation, control box thing. Oh, I took it out. It's in my office / bedroom. But yeah, it's got its own little computer controller thing that mounts under the dash. So I'm probably gonna end up pulling that pink wire out, which is cool because that's one less wire I gotta run here. But we're moving right along. I'm just missing some hardware, and I have to go meet up with my wife for a little date night thing. So this will just have to wait. But like all the hard stuff's done. All I gotta do before I leave, and I'm probably not gonna show you guys this, but I am gonna go ahead and throw a connector on these two wires, just so it's there, just so that when the time comes, I can just start plugging stuff up. I'm still waiting on those two adapters. They'll be in the mail. Let's see, today's Saturday. They're supposed to be here Thursday. We're gonna see. And those will just pop into the intake manifold somewhere up here. I gotta figure vacuum out still. These are gonna go away. I'm gonna simplify vacuum. But yeah, we're getting close now, guys. All right, we're fixing to mount these right there on that bracket. That's gonna tell me a couple things. I might end up having to change that bracket to steel, or like a steel flat bar, or even like a 1-inch piece of angle iron. But we're gonna see if this works first. Worst case, I just gotta go scrape up a 2-foot section of 1-inch angle iron. I could find that pretty easy. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in there with the hardware and show you what I've done. All right, I got that in there. That wasn't easy because I had to hold these stationary because the nutsert that's inside of these is threaded. So I couldn't just stick a wrench on it, stick a ratchet, and go at it. These are in there tight, and I had to get my wrench, which is a non-ratcheting 10 mil, and like get a turn, flip it, get a turn, flip it, get a turn. So a little tedious, nothing terrible, this next part will be slightly easier. These coils and the wiring harness kind of set up off of the bracket a little bit. That's why I got these. These are going to space the coil packs off of that so that everything kind of goes on even. You'll see. Whoo, I'm pleased as punch. Look at that. Let's see if I can get my gap. Look at that gap between the coil packs and the aluminum. Thanks to those spacers, I put a little washer on the front under the bolt, the back side on both sides. Got lock washers, and I got 40 mil bolts because I didn't know how long a bolt I needed, but now I've got all this shank I can put P-clamps on. I can just slide a P-clamp on there, put another nut over it, and then I got nice places to put wiring. Of course, I already have these, so you know I got places to put wiring for days. This is going to clear the hood, I do believe. If not, all I got to do is pop this clip out and pull this over to the side, which I might end up doing anyway. And then I'm going to get spark plug wires. Sorry for my finger. Spark plug wires that 90 onto these, and then straights onto the spark plugs over there. Man, this is going together. I never did put a plug on that injector driver. I'm about to do that right now. I figure I should give y'all an update. This is the wire that goes to the starter solenoid from the ignition switch, and the wire was not long enough to go from the pin on the starter relay through the original hole that I had it through. Or, well, sorry, it was long enough to go from there through there and to that plug right there. But when I rerouted it, because I wanted all the wiring going through this hole. B, this is the wire for the hood release. It wasn't long enough, so I'm cutting a longer wire. I've already got this one stabbed through, going through here. It's gonna get this stuff on it, down behind everything, and then it goes to the starter down there. So I'm just getting my length correct to go to that plug over there. All right, I got that plug on. I said it before, I'll say it again. It's easy to do. There's lots of videos on it. I'm not gonna bore you with it. They're Deutsch style plugs. I buy these on Amazon. I got this kit right here for like 35 bucks. I don't remember, it's like 100 and something piece kit. And then I buy the machined pins because I don't like the stamped crimp style. I like the machined ones. I like the reliability. They make me feel good. But that's done. I did go ahead and pull this O2 sensor wire in here because all the wiring that comes off of the new O2 sensor is already poked through the firewall right there to come in here to this controller. And I think I need to mount that controller, so I think I'll do that real quick. Okay, we determined that this is the wire that I'm gonna have to use for the trigger sensor. I'm not gonna use those opt-in wires, the gray ones with the stripes, so I pulled those out. I pulled injector 2 out because I don't need it. I did determine I was able to use W LED and A LED as outputs, signal outputs for the coils. So I'm gonna figure out kind of where I want this plug to be. This is the plug for the coils. I'm gonna figure out kind of where I want it to live and then kind of start making that. I gotta fix this a little bit down here. Let's see, what else did I do? I'm probably gonna end up shortening this up. This is the map sensor stuff, and it comes down here and makes a big loop. I'm gonna shorten that up. We're just chipping away at it. It's almost 6 o'clock. We're deep into fall. Tomorrow is daylight savings. I was going to install the coolant temperature sensor and the intake air temp sensor, but the adapters that I got, while they are the right thread pitch, they're not deep enough for the sensor to go into. So I'm gonna have to go buy what are they? 2 like teeny tiny 3/8 NPT pipe nipples, and then 2 3/8 NPT pipe couplings, and kind of extend it so I can get the stem of the sensor in there. Haven't really done anything else. Been busy with worked a bunch this week. Been messing with schoolwork, but I just wanted to give you an update on that.
I also just realized that I didn't film an outro, so thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share it, send it to everybody. Send it to, airdrop it to folks. You could post it in a company email and click send all. Get my name out there, people. Or don't. That's cool too. Thanks.